Hello fellow travelers, it's December the 18th today, and today the Sun was exactly aligned with the central Sun, the Galactic center at 2708 Sagittarius, the heart of our galaxy, around which our solar system and all the stars we can see in the night sky are rotating. It takes about 250 million years, astronomers calculated, for our solar system, which is kind of in one of the outer fringes of one of the spiral arms, 250 million years to once rotate around the galactic center. The galactic center is really you could say, the center of the universe for us. All the stars we can see, as I say, are part of our galaxy. The only other object we can see by bare eye, just faintly, is Andromeda galaxy, which is our closest neighbor galaxy. So this shows you the importance of the galactic center. Every year when the galactic center is recharging our solar system, our sun, our basic life energy, this is an important reset moment that just happened today, and this is the chart for Greenwich for that moment, and you see Uranus right in the center of the chart. This is a clear sign this will be the year of revolution, of change, of surprise, of unexpected turns of events. And there's many more indications that this is indeed the case. As we go, I have brought actually will show you here the same moment of the last year, just to give you a little perspective how important this moment is in time. And let's just look at this chart for a minute and see if there's any veracity, if that makes any sense, what we see in this chart in terms of what we experienced in the last 12 months. So again, you have the Sun at 2708 Sagittarius. That was on December 18, 2020. What we see here, a prominent, is Pallas in the midheaven together with Saturn and Jupiter. Pallas is the planet of understanding patterns. It's scientific method which is applied to dissect, to look deeper, and to interpret what we see. Pallas is on the same frequency as Mercury in that sense, and you also see there was a Sun-Mercury conjunction. The upper conjunction, that is when Mercury is behind the Sun, which is the high point of a 4-month cycle, exactly 2 months away from when Mercury is retrograde at the inferior conjunction between Sun and Earth. So at this point, this was a highly empowered Mercury. So we can see that these last 12 months were allowing us humans to gain enormous insights, advance in our understanding of our world, analyzing what's going on, understanding this emerging Aquarian energies, to see all the sides of it. In a simple way said, the Great Reset on the one side and the Great Awakening on the other side, simplified in a way. Also the moon was in Aquarius, so there was lots and lots of Aquarius energy out there. And now Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, so let's look at Uranus. Uranus was conjunct the black moon and the equatorial ascendant. That is the 0 meridian. That's where we cast this chart for. You see 0 degrees west, which divides the Earth in the eastern and the western hemisphere, and this is the ascendant on Earth's equator. This here is the ascendant in Greenwich. So this is important, and this shows you the complexity, the difficulty, the darkness which this last year definitely had a fair bit of. The black moon, the collective shadow. Uranus naturally is that energy of revolution, of change, of the new age, of these huge possibilities we have on either side of the spectrum, wherever we decide finally to go as a humanity. And it was definitely the year which showed us the darkness which is looming if we choose the wrong outcome of this of all these possibilities. So it has been the 12 months of true revelation of what the possibilities are, and we have explored definitely all the agendas in depth. Those people who are still oblivious to what's going on, they will soon realize some big stuff. So this is the basic pattern of the last year, aside also from this square of Mars with Aries here, with Pluto, and Deucalion is in here too, in conjunct, the 150-degree angle. Elatus is here, and I'm giving you some insights on these planets. I'm just first showing you the structure here. These are all points which are in the 22-degree mark. And then there's... Okay, so Mars Aries. That is the... I would say it is a war for truth. It is... Aries is the energy which wants us to find what's really true, even if it leads through some disruption and conflict. It is an energy which doesn't shy away from these confrontations. Pluto, that's the power structure which is challenged. Elatus is again in the same frequency of Mercury and Pallas, of analytical thinking, and Deucalion is the understanding that we have to build a foundation for something which we have no clue of yet where it leads. It's that energy of Noah building an ark and just doing what is coming as an intuition, as a vision, and following on those thoughts and ideas to prepare for something yet unknown. So this is really an interesting structure in itself. I forgot saying, naturally, Mercury also was close to the galactic center, very close, 2708, and the other planet which was extremely exact in that same degree was Chaos. Now Chaos is an interesting one, and Chaos was most exactly aligned to the Galactic Center in the last 2 years. Chaos is naturally, you could say, yes, it is reflecting the chaos we have on our planet right now, which is undisputable. But also chaos is kind of a defragmenting of taking everything apart to allow for a natural order to come back. That's the basic meaning of the chaos energy. If you go into Greek mythology, chaos is the primordial order. So in a way, all the false constructs have to be disassembled and disintegrated, or as we say, defragmented, put into all fragments in the right place and then reassembled. That's kind of the energy which we have been experiencing very, very strongly. Interesting also in this last year's chart is Neptune here very prominently T-squaring the nodal axis. This in itself was an indication that this past 12 months would be quite confused in its basic appearance. Neptune in that powerful spot here, T-squaring the nodes where we are going to, where we are coming from. So it's kind of this uncertainty of confusion, of not knowing really what to think and what to believe, which also naturally is a great opportunity for coming to your own discernment, being pushed back to your own self and having to find out yourself. And more people naturally have come there. I guess there's so many people have realized of what's going on really on this planet in the last 12 months. Probably the number of people who are understanding, seeing through the deceptive layers has multiplied in these last 12 months. So we're in a wonderful, powerful spot right now for whatever is coming next. And let's just now go back and look at this year's chart. Now, I should say the Galactic Center again is the realignment with our higher purpose and also the evolution towards becoming a galactic a nation, being accepted in that greater galactic neighborhood, become part of that village of different galaxies and different star systems. That's where we're heading towards, and 2022 will be a great step in that direction with Uranus up here. And Uranus is beautifully aspected this year, much better than last year if we just quickly look at the aspects Uranus has. Then so what stands out here are actually septiles. There's a septile with Neptune, and then there's a biseptile to the ascendant, and there's another septile to the where did I see it, to naturally to midheaven. Now I cannot see it here listed. Okay, yeah, well, Uranus has a conjunction. I'm looking for okay, Uranus has the, okay, all good. Okay, so there's septiles septiles, there's this septile between the ascendant and the midheaven. Okay. Septile is the seventh of a circle, naturally. It's one of these weird partitions of the circle. So this is 1/7 to Neptune and 2/7 of the circle, and this is pretty exact, as you see. 17 minutes here to the ascendant, and 42 minutes of arc to Neptune here. Really exact. So first of all, what is a septile? A septile is an irritation. It is something which doesn't add up. It's something which bugs you. You can't let go of it. It keeps coming back. So it is that you also could call it cognitive dissonance. I guess that's one thing which will be really big this year, as all these people who are waking up will be going through this period of total confusion, not knowing what's up and down anymore, and there will be chaos. Naturally, chaos sounds as an planet is still within reach here of the opposition to the sun here and to the galactic center. You see, chaos is a very slow moving outer planet in the Kuiper belt. In the range of 300 years it takes it to circle once around the sun, even slower than Pluto. Very interesting, naturally, is that this realignment with the central sun happened just a few hours before full moon, which is tonight. I guess it's pretty much now, when I'm doing this recording, that the moon is exactly full. So a moon which is almost full has a lot of drive and is extremely powerful, naturally, and it comes here out of this conjunction with the black moon, which was last night. So we are already separating from that moment of darkness, getting away, having really seen the polarity in its wholeness, and that was also the energy of that comet, which has been adding in its own wild card. Those of you who haven't seen that presentation yet, it's a little long, I admit, but it's super exciting, this comet, and I will definitely make another recording on it. The basic ingredient that comet brings in seems to be pushing us even more so with our nose onto realizing what is truly going on our planet, taking away all these layers of this deception and opening our eyes to what's truly going on. Vesta, here most exactly opposing the black moon. Vesta is that spiritual commitment to cut through this darkness, to reveal what's hidden. So there's an enormous drive here on the spiritual side to bring things into balance. Always interesting are the angles of charts. They are kind of the anchoring points, how this energy is anchored into reality, and I this time wanted to do it a little differently. So at the ascendant we have 4, and let me see if I have that open here too. Yeah, I still have it. That's the overlay of the 64 hexagrams with the zodiac. And if we go here into Leo, that is hexagram 4, between roughly 19 and 2430 of Leo. And you see, if we go back 2421, so it's in the very last line of that hexagram 4, which in the Wilhelm translation has the name youthful ignorance. Now, I really love Richard Roth and his new interpretation of the 64 hexagrams. He calls them gene keys. Gene key 4, intolerance, is the basic energy leading to understanding, and in its highest expression leads to forgiveness. If we have this gene key prominently, we are going to stop needing to know and finally understand. I guess that's really a great way to see this hexagram. We are starting to laugh. Happiness never comes through answers. It comes only when we are so tired of answers that we just decide to live the questions fully. Our life radiates the answer, and finally we can relax and be of the deepest service to the world. I also discovered this powerful site here, this really great website. I just discovered it today, and I want to show you. Let me see if I have one more link open here. No, but it is. Okay. So this website is by Glenda Hilsenteger, Embracing Possibility. She explores these gene keys a bit more and let me see, where was I? Too many tabs open as usual. Okay, here we are. There's no mistakes in life. That's again gene key 4, and I just found this really interesting in the context of where we are globally in our human evolution. The 4th gene key deals with the way in which humans think and reflect. We live inside a mental construct. The mental world that we live in is made up of thousands upon thousands of reasons. The mind has to have its reasons. As long as you buy into the reasons game, you are a reasonable person. But the moment you question logic and reason, you are being unreasonable. So it is about transcending reason. We moved from the shadow of intolerance to the city of forgiveness. City is, in that sense, the highest expression of this energy. We usually think of intolerance as something directed at others. The 4th shadow of intolerance is obsessed with why things happen when they happen. It wants answers. It is endlessly hungry for answers. It's the mental expression of our unconscious distrust in life. Because of reasons comes blame, justification, and guilt. You see, a world without reasons is an amoral world. It's unrecognizable, ungovernable, and it's terrifying to us. There must be a reason for all the terrible things that happen on this planet. But deep down, what if there were no reason? What if it was meant to happen just because that is what life chose? And even though this gene key drives us all mad, it also drives us to question the world. in doing that, we have learned all kinds of amazing things. It's an ongoing game. So it's really an opening of our mindset, of making it clear that yes, this is true. We are inside a mental construct, and it is time to break that open and to see that yes, we are doing this, but there's a higher level where we can just watch this as something happening to us within our minds, and our minds being not really who we are. Our minds are an assembly of all we learned, of all which was programmed into our minds. Just think of someone born in a different culture, having been programmed in a different way, with a different religion, a different mindset. This became very, very, very visible and deeply understood by myself. When I was 25, I had the luxury of living in India for 2 years after having been brought up in Europe, in Switzerland. This was showing me that these people in India, they think totally differently. If not today, then tomorrow, and if not tomorrow, then next life. It is kind of from where I grew up, where everything was so time conscious. Everywhere you see clocks, in Switzerland particularly, the country where I guess the clocks are originating from. We are very time conscious. Every train on the station leaves by the minute. If it's 2 minutes late, everybody starts getting nervous and looking on their wristwatch and saying, "What's wrong?" Anyway, so it was a real change of understanding, of looking at life, and this is just one small outstanding aspect of that, but it is really true. If we can transcend and see beyond our own mental construct, then we are moving into a new freedom of realizing that these things really do not matter that much. So this is giving us lots of freedom, this Leo energy, together with this Uranus up here, which really opens the box, actually comes in, I would almost say, with a sledgehammer and breaks this box fully open. So everything is coming out, good and bad, both, everything, and we are in this final stage of this Saturn Uranus square, which actually will be exact for the third and last time in this 40-year cycle or so, just a few days later. I think I have the chart here, if I'm not mistaken. That's the one. You see on December 24th we have the final square of these two planets. This actually is the heliocentric chart, which is not quite correct. Let's just do that right as we speak. Just bear with me for a second. Change that back to geocentric. It takes a little while to think here. My computer is sometimes a little slow, so just bear with me. Okay, come on. Anyway, that Saturn-Uranus square was one of the trademarks of the year 2021. I said it in other occasions. It is the clash of the old and the new. And Saturn, being an Uranus sign in Aquarius, definitely was the one which had a harder time to pull its way through. So Uranus had been the upper hand in that sense, and Uranus, I guess, is getting lots of support overall. Uranus in Taurus, very interesting placement too, between 2018 and 2025. Bringing that high frequency Aquarian energy and giving it roots, planting it firmly. Uranus in Taurus, that was also what Nikola Tesla had in his birth chart, who was able to harness all these higher dimensional energies and give us access to free energy finally, which is definitely on its way. That's one of the trademarks of this Uranus in Taurus. We definitely will see that, as I said many times, between 2018 and 2025. Free energy will become a given. So we are on track here. Many indications that this is going to be happening in the next 12 months, as soon as the Dark Empire is coming to its end, and that is all a question of a few more months probably for the majority of humanity to fully understand what's been going on, how we have been pushed into this tyranny, and it's all coming together on all levels. So again, this is the chart we were starting off, right? And the square here very prominent with Saturn. So it won't be all that easy. Naturally, it's still a big struggle which we are going through. Also looking at Mars here in Sagittarius at the South Node. This also shows that the South Node is representing the past in that sense, and Mars there shows that last attempt to defeat our freedom. However, Mars is separating here from the South Node, so, and it's in Sagittarius. Sagittarius, the sign of freedom as such, of revolution, change, adventure. But still Mars is in opposition here to Sedna, and there's a few other interesting things, like Nessus here is still pretty prominent. Nessus being the epitaph of all the, how to say that, all the dark stuff, all the sickness, the mental sickness which we still are seeing, and this is all really magnified still here with Okiroi and Pallas, but that is necessary again to open people's eyes. What's beautiful, the moon here, which represents the people, the moon in a collective chart, as I'm doing here with my astrology, trying to grasp the collective mode of evolution. The moon always represents the people, the collective soul, if you want, and here this alignment with Bienor. Beautiful Bienor, strong man standing up for his own rights, very innovative, a freedom fighter. This energy we had also several times in important charts of 2020 and 2021. So this has been ongoing, this influence of this little centaur planet giving us that backing of, yes, it's the right thing to stand up and fight for our freedoms. Vienor also is approaching here the opposition to the Galactic Center, so this will be a theme for this whole coming year. A key feature of this chart also is Mercury squaring Chiron. Mercury Chiron is the realization of what's wrong and seeing all the flaws. It is that we first have to see what's wrong before we can get it to a better place. So it is, there's disappointment in that, there is frustration in that, and it is strong also as it's kind of exactly at the, well, let me say it that way, the midpoint between those two is here on the descendant. So Mercury and Chiron here, that's what's called a planetary picture. The midpoint axis, that's where both energies come together. Beautiful though, Jupiter here, late Aquarius, and the part of fortune here are helping here enormously. Jupiter in the 7th house is the general feel of enjoying each other's company, seeing that we are helping each other grow. So it is a coming together and overcoming all that limitations we have been going through. Although still there is the T-square here, as I said, to Sedna, so it's not immediately changing. There is still some last residue to go through in the next few months. Another degree I want to focus on here is the 4th house cusp, which is the source energy. And again, if we look into the gene keys, that is a gene key 24 and actually 44 at the 4th house cusp. Here you can see it. It is here, this segment of the zodiac between 7 degrees 37 and 13 degrees 15 of Scorpio. And again, if you want to see the whole breakdown of the degrees, that's here on my web page, the one I cannot update anymore, but nevertheless it has all the great information and can give you some starting points if you want to implement that information into your own chart readings. It's amazingly accurate. It gives you a whole new level of understanding astrology again. So here we are now, that's at the source, at the root of what this year's energy is. It starts with interference, leads to teamwork, and finally at its highest it's synarchy, which means everything is organically working in harmony with everything else. Synarchy means we all lead together. How beautiful is that? There's no higher, no lower. It's just everybody does what he is good at, what he loves doing. That's where we are getting as a global society. It doesn't mean that we're all the same, not at all. It means that our uniqueness has a place within the orchestra, and instead of just playing a nice tune and being oblivious to all those around us, we begin to play in harmony with everyone. Again, that's from Richard Rudd's translation, understanding of this hexagram's energy. And let me again go to this other site here by Glenda Hilsenteger. She also has a page here on this hexagram. Every person you meet in your life is part of the overall fractal pattern of your destiny. A beautiful insight here to meditate on. The current state of our planet cannot be fixed from the top down. If a program is misfiring in such a huge and complex manner, you have to fix it at the grassroots level. You have to reset the basic components, which are the individuals, followed next by relationships. The moment we begin to see relationships appearing in the world without interference patterns, we will know that the core human fractal is rebuilding itself from the bottom up. So Gene Key 44 moves from the shadow of interference to the city of synarchy, and it is the way of teamwork. The 44th Gene Key represents an evolutionary passage of transformation from hierarchy to synarchy, and it is based on awareness. The only difference between hierarchy and synarchy is perception. Hierarchy exists everywhere in the universe, and it can only take away your freedom. It is that fixed structure. If we think in fixed structures, then we think freedom is external. True freedom, however, is inner freedom, and hierarchy cannot touch it. The 44th Gene Key is about relationship dynamics, and whether a family grouping or business structure interference results in feelings of resentment. Consider how fear operates in your own family. I find that really interesting in the context of where we are at our present time here on our planet, how every family, every friendship is now in this difficult stage of not trusting each other because we have been pulled apart by all the narratives, the false narratives. Some family members are submissive, the keepers of the false sense of peace. Others react, externalizing fear through anger, irritation, and trying to control everything. And naturally, neither of the two is really the right thing to behave. As we shift from the repressive to the reactive, or vice versa, then the patterns around us shift in reaction to it. That's the interference frequency at work, and it's a wonderful dance if you watch it. So anyway, what is the step out of this is that we have to see that it is neither being submissive and fearful, nor to be kind of trying to react and be angry and irritated, but to kind of rise above this separation which has been intended. So this is an interesting energy at the root here of this chart. I think, well, there's a few more things I want to point out. The vertex point here. Vertex is the spiritual focus of coming together, of meeting the world in a spiritual way. It is interesting that this degree here is where Venus and the Sun will have their inferior conjunction on January 10, and that is a critical time frame. That is when many things will come to a peak. That is the time around when Mars will tune into this opposition with the dark moon. So around January 10, expect things to be at its most difficult, and from there on there will be a huge breakthrough. Then it's like when tensions come to such an extreme point, then breakthrough is imminent, and we will see a breakthrough anywhere between January 10 and the end of January. This will be the time of the great awakening of the masses. This will be the time when it will be absolutely crazy out there in the world. So you want to be prepared for that time. I leave it at that. I have a bunch more charts, but I will get to them at a later point. Maybe one last chart I want to throw in just to give you some positivity, seeing that this is really going the right direction. This is the moment when the sun will be at 0 degree Capricorn. That is just a few days away on the 21st of December. Again, this chart is for Greenwich, for the 0 meridian, and I just want to put your focus here on this Jupiter here up high at the 10th house cusp. Very powerful, beautiful. This is change. This means big change is coming, and it's coming fast, and it's coming furious, and it's coming in a mind-expanding way, in a Uranian way, with Uranus here being the ruler of midheaven, the ruler of Jupiter, and Uranus again here, as we said, ruling that spiritual realignment of this year, which we are just experiencing today. So this is, as every year, a very, very interesting window of resetting the directions of evolution, particularly the moment the sun is at its lowest point in the northern hemisphere, and naturally at its highest over the southern hemisphere. A moment of big change. The moon here at this moment opposing Pluto and Venus. Here also Hygeia and Haumea and Elatus. All these planets here in the late degrees of Libra. Overall, this is indicative of, again, fast changes and shifts, and it can be overwhelming, it can be wild, but 2022 also, we have the 3 2s, 2 0 2 2, which is a 6. And it's also the 3 2s are kind of giving the idea of something three-dimensional. It's this 2 to the power of 3. So there's many, many hidden aspects in that too. Anyway, I leave it at this for now. Thank you for joining and listening. Again, if you liked that, please think of subscribing, and maybe you want to even share it. So thank you, and see you soon.